Every week we invite a group of provocative, funny artists to discuss a topic that we hope will be stimulating and humorous.
You know, you got some wackos on this show.
What? What?
Chachi, chachi, chachi.
Oh, hey, it's crazy, isn't it?
You're insane!
Yeah.
That's funny.
Tonight's topic is predictions for the next century.
In the future, what I'm wearing will be considered formal.
Why not?
Oh, this is a good show. I'm going to keep watching it.
And once we get over our irrational fears and sexual hang-ups about it, we'll learn to enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
Free Speech Comedy Special with host Bill Bronner. This week's topic, predictions for the next century. With special guests, Warren Thomas, Maria Bamford, Peter Spruyt, Rick Overton, and Patton Oswalt. Free Speech. And now your host, Bill Bronner.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Free Speech. Let me tell you a little bit about Free Speech. Every week we invite a group of provocative, funny artists to discuss a topic that we hope will be stimulating and humorous. Tonight's topic is predictions for the next century. All right, so my predictions for the future. First of all, I think that one of the best predictions in the next century will be that we will have virtual lawyers. You'll be able to consult and sue people over the internet. I think that another problem I think that we're going to have is I think that because of the advances in electronics, everyone will be wearing a miniature video camera which will tape everything that they do for their whole life. You'll come home from the office and the wife will go, "Give me the tape." I also think in the future, cars, we know this is going to happen, cars will be controlled by radar and computers. They'll be so automatic that they will even tell you when to experience road rage. I also think that and not too far in the future, I think that cigars will end. I think that cigar smoking will become no longer trendy. It will be replaced by chewing tobacco. And every sports utility vehicle will come with its own chrome spittoon. I predict in the year 2041, Michael Eisner will cash in stock options worth $13.4 billion for the Disney company. In the same year, minimum wage will be $8.42. The other thing, I think that in the future, I think that animal rights activists are going to become even crazier. I think that in the year 2032, there will be pet pornography. I think that, and the other thing that I'm really scared of is I think that someone will invent a device that will allow us to communicate with animals, and for the next 30 years, we'll have to listen to what their rights should be. That's my predictions for the future. Thank you very much for coming. We have a great show for you tonight. Please welcome our first performer this evening, the surprisingly spectacular humor of Mr. Peter Spruyt.
All right. Predictions for the next century. Prediction number one, I'm predicting that lifespans will be up, way up. In this century, you hear a lot about people dying of old age. In the next century, you're going to start to hear about something called people dying of really, really old age. The next century, if you die of old age, that means you passed away before your time. People will be sad, unless you're a jerk. Here's how it's going to be in the next century. Some people will start to fossilize, then they'll die. That's how long people will be living. One such person, Senator Strom Thurmond of South Carolina, will die in a fully fossilized state in the year 2063. His death will go unnoticed. to the good people of South Carolina, who will re-elect him in 2064. After which time he will serve for 6 distinguished years as a rock-like human cadaver. Prediction number 1. All right. Second prediction, The X-Files will continue as a wildly successful show in the next century. The thing that will be disturbing to me about this show is Special Agent Dana Scully will still be skeptical. About the paranormal, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. And my question to Special Agent Scully is, what's it going to take, lady? What's it? I'm sorry, this one hits close to home for me. That's prediction number 2. Prediction number 3, I'm predicting that aliens will live among us. They won't be nearly as scary as they're made out to be in Hollywood motion pictures. They'll make good neighbors. They'll keep their yards neat. They won't lower property values. They will occasionally probe us. But that's what aliens do. You know what I'm saying? Dogs bark, men watch football, aliens probe. That's what they do. And once we get over our irrational fears and sexual hang-ups about it, we'll learn to enjoy it. Occasionally, an alien will try to intimidate us, but we'll quickly learn that they're harmless, even when angry. Here's why I say this. I've seen artist renderings of aliens. I had an uncle who was on a ship a couple of times, and I've had aliens described to me. It turns out that your typical alien is a small-framed, frail being with a narrow foot stance which supports a huge, bulbous head. You know what that means, folks? It means 3 things. 1, it means they've got a high center of gravity. 2, it means they're unstable. And 3, it means they're easy to topple. So all you need to do is place a well-placed flick to the side of the head. Down they go. Some of you might not like to touch aliens, and here's my suggestion. You don't need to if you have an encounter with a menacing alien in a dark alley. All you need to do is say, "Hey, spaceman." He'll go, "What?" "Oh!" All right. Teach that to your children. The millennium's upon us. Thank you.
Spruyt. We'll be right back after this commercial.
Whoa! He uses me twice a day, every day. Flosses too. But he doesn't go to the dentist. And there's stuff piling up back there. Stuff that can cause tooth decay, gum disease, bad breath. I keep telling him, you gotta see a dentist twice a year. But hey, I'm just a toothbrush.
For a pre-screened dentist in your area, call 1-800-DENTIST today.
Please, don't be a plaquehead. Go to the dentist.
Welcome back to Free Speech. Please welcome the outrageous observations of Mr. Patton Oswalt.
Thank you for having me here on the comedy glockenspiel. Very nice. 3 o'clock. Flying's weird. Broke up with my girlfriend. First off, in the future, what I'm wearing will be considered formal and dressy. So when they show this tape in the year 2060, I'll be with it. And the rest of you are going to look archaic and frilly. I really am trying to do this thing now that I like to call Jinx the Future. And what this is, you know, like when you see a movie made about the 60s or the 50s, but it's made now, and they do that really cheesy-ass historical irony scene where they'll have a character that's going, this band, the Beatles, isn't going to go anywhere. And then you're supposed to, oh, that guy's an idiot. I'm smarter than him, you know. What you need to start doing is start talking about the late 90s, in other words, the present, as if you were in a movie made about the late 90s 40 or 50 years from now. Because that way you'll be able to have things in the future that you want. You'll be able to start going, like if you get a call and you're like, you need me there by 5? Yeah, if I had a matter transmitter, I could be there. You know, then hopefully we'll get one, like that. And please, just for my benefit, start going, yeah, I'll go see Titanic when Patton Oswalt nails Jennifer Connelly on the roof of the White House. Just say that a lot. I don't care what situation it's in, just say it. Use that phrase. I need the power of the mass mind on my side. So please jinx the future. And also, I like the fact that, you know, we had tattooing, and then we had all the piercing, and then the scarification, and now there's a thing where people are putting pieces of metal under their skin. I don't know, I think it's called embedding, and they have these designs, these raised, they'll have like ridges, like Klingon ridges on their skull, and these weird arm things. And I think in about 10 more years, their kids are gonna have to top that. You have to top your parents, period. So I think what's gonna happen is kids are they're just gonna start amputating parts of their body and have like a hook, you know, like the pirate look. Look, I'm with it. And then their kids they will have to top amputation, so they will begin injecting themselves with deadly diseases in order to survive it. Like they'll give themselves Ebola, so maybe they'll be the 1 out of 100 people that survives it. And then when you do, you wear the band that says, "Oh, look at that guy. He survived Ebola and the plague. I got to hook up with him. Yeah, that guy's hot. He is immune." I think that one of the best things about the future is we're going to keep continuing all the cloning and genetic research and all this stuff, and that's going to be great. Not for any of the benefits that we get from the cloning or the genetic engineering, but for the massive laboratory mishaps that are going to create these big hooting monsters that are going to break out and go galloping across the countryside, just eating people. Because that will finally bring us together as a people. Remember when the Cassini probe went up, people were like, you can't, it's full of plutonium, you can't do that. And I was like, please send up 100 of those. Because what you don't remember is remember that movie Night of the Living Dead? When that Venus probe came down with the weird radiation on it and that brought all the dead back to life? Bringing the dead back to life will solve all of our problems. Because there'll be no more black, white, gay, straight, it'll all be one people sharing the planet, doing what God meant us to do, kill flesh-eating zombies. Join in my plan. Good night.
Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt. Our next performer this evening, please welcome the wild predictions of Mr. Rick Overton.
Well, I think in the future, Lance Henriksen's neck will just become more intense over the millennium. Why are the children all crying? I've been robbed. I have been robbed of the future promised me by the 1964 New York World's Fair. I would sit in my little car going through the pavilion and looking. By 1974, cars will ride along on a cushion of air. You won't need gasoline anymore. You'll be able to travel 1,000 miles on a tank full of your own urine. Stanley Kubrick promised me a great spinning civilian space station that'll be ready in about 2 years from right now. Lying bastards! 2001 promised me that they don't even have Pan Am anymore. They got to go back and pixelate a new airline in on the side of it. It'll be Continental now. And there's like a baggage drifting off from the side of it, you know, panel swinging open. Here comes the Velcro stewardess smoking a cigarette. Here's your nuts just bust open, flying everywhere. Here's just an infant peeing and spiraling as it goes by. No one cares. Well, the environment will certainly be an issue for the future, and I predict they're going to shoot garbage into space with a giant cannon. Boom, 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 all night long. And the kids will just sit on the porch. Dad's there, you know, getting wasted, trying to get some sleep. And the Earth will just have this Saturnian ring of crap running around it, full of appliances and other things that don't really hold a stable orbit. So every other night, there'll be so many shooting stars, everybody gets a wish. What do we got for him, Johnny? It's a red-hot refrigerator. Blade Runner promised us flying cars. Yeah. Like people are smart enough now to just drive cars on the ground. Let's give them flying cars next. See what stupid stuff they can do in midair. Like not check your gas gauge and stuff like that. You're sitting out there at your outdoor cafe. There's this big rectangular shadow forming around your table. People are, the waiters are away. What? 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 Is it? Yeah. So I know it looks like things are pretty creepy right now, and that we're a stupid, dopey species when you watch Jerry Springer or one of those Ricky Lake shows showing, you know, white supremacists and their breeder babies, and you're in the shower going, we're doomed, it's over, we're so screwed, we're all so stupid. We're not all so stupid. Some of us are, and nature intends to march them off into the ocean. It does. You know, nature is going to take care of some of these problems for us. Nature's not politically correct. Nature is actually correct. It doesn't care. The point I'm making is I think there's evolution happening. There's animals getting smarter. There's a gorilla named Coco. 5,000-word vocabulary now. I mean, I remember when Zippy the Chimp, Zippy the Chimp on the Sullivan Show would come out, here's Zippy going to read the newspaper on roller skates, and Zippy's not reading the paper. He's just got the paper near his head somewhere, you know. He just knows if he doesn't put this thing near his head, the mean guy zaps him in the ass with an electric prod in the wings. You know, no banana treat for that show. So, and now Coco's ordering items out of the Sharper Image catalog. No, the vibrating chair in blue. Coco knows what she wants. Alex the parrot, actual talking, thinking parrot, making sentences. What am I holding, Alex? Pencil. Easy, any parrot could do that. What color is it? Yellow. Which way am I holding it? Upside down! We got a talking parrot here! Get in here! Get in here! Talk for the guys, talk for the press. Pretty bird, don't mess with me now, man. Hello, my darling. Hello, my sweet. Hello, my ragtime girl. And I think humans are evolving up too. Or maybe they won't be called humans. Maybe we're the last of the humans. Humans an apology. It's the excuse for everything we do wrong. I can't get the eggs and do the day job. I'm only human. You know. Everything that's dirty, filthy, forgetful, and wrong is human now. So maybe they'll come up with a new word. We'll just have to memorize it. We'll have to come up with whatever word they have. We'll have to honor that. We'll make great pets. Because I know, and they'll come mostly from mixed race marriages. You know, here's where we start the car, leave it running, because the best dogs are always the whats? The mutts. Same with humans, man. What do you want, door number 1 or the royal family? They're tapping from a Gene puddle at this point, you know. And so I just know my comedy partner, he's in a mixed race marriage, and his little 9-month-old kid comes over, and he should be stumbling around, you know, toddling in his little load-of-duty diapers there. He's walking. He's got a little suit on. He's just walking right at me, and I'm like, whoa, what, you want a soda? Can I get you a cookie? Just don't wheel me into the cornfield with your mind, man. He looks at me like he got it. It just wasn't that funny. And then He goes over and sets the timer on my VCR, which I have left blinking at 12 noon for the last 6 years. They don't even make this model anymore. I'm still dicking around with the auto dial on my phone. I just want operator. Fix the phone, future baby.
Give me that. You ever thought about reading the instructions, Einstein?
He's so advanced. He's grasped sarcasm already. I think we're going to live to see that day. Do you intend to join me to live to see that day? When the next species takes over, I do, because that which does not kill me makes me kind of tired and achy.
Rick Overton. We'll be right back after these commercials. Welcome back to Free Speech. Please welcome the whimsical merriment of Maria Bamford.
Hi. I think in the next century, there'll probably be a lot of empowerment of the ladies. I think that's going to be happening. I'm not saying that the gentlemen are going to be brought down. I'm just saying that the ladies are going to be more powerful. I'm not trying to prove, what form this is going to happen in. It may just be a new line of lip color.
Cinnamon strength. Peach power. After a full day of kissing my white male boss's ass, I don't even have to reapply. Thanks, Maybelline.
Anyways, okay, so, right, ladies, and, I am a lady. Also, I think that, like, right now, all the, the body image things, you're supposed to be, in the 70s, you're supposed to be, like, really skinny. Like, so skinny, like, hey, I'm tired. That's how skinny you are. Hey, like, I need an IV. Like, I'm skinny, right? Okay, so now it's like, okay, you gotta be skinny, but you gotta be toned, right? So you're like, hey, I'm really tired, and then I gotta go work out, right? Because I'm like, I gotta get toned. Okay, so in the next century, it'll be like, people will say, hey, she looks really good, but she could use to gain like 170 pounds. Because it would be cool, like, to be obese, right? So you gotta be fat, but then you gotta be toned. So you're fat and toned, so you gotta work out, but you're really uncomfortable. Okay, so these are some specific predictions. Because I have intuition. Okay, okay, you know that lady Ann Geddes who makes all the creepy pictures of little babies in, like, clay pots? Like, oh, that's cute. Like, she's crying in a clay pot all by herself. That's funny. Okay, right, okay. And, like, what's gonna happen to her is she's gonna be shot in the head. Like, twice at close range. And then, that guy who wrote, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like, that's really interesting. Like, men and women are different. I never thought of that. And then, like, okay, so someday when he's, like, in his cave, because he's, like, a caveman, right? And his lady's gonna be out feeling feelings, like, because she's an alien, okay? And, he's gonna be shot in the head. A couple times, me hit with a brick. You don't need a license for a brick. I get out of work at 5. So, anyways, okay, so then, people will watch the show. People will go, hey, this is a good show. Like, hey, that Maria, she's real hottie, right? This is a good show. I'm gonna keep watching it, right? Okay, so they'll have a good time. But then the people will go, hey, this show sucks. Like, they're gonna be shot in the head. Maybe a couple times, 3 times if they run. Thank you very much.
Maria Bamford. And finally, please welcome the wonderful wit of Warren Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and what a future indeed we'll have. Celebrity predictions for the future. The drummer from Hanson will die in 2043. Mysteriously. when he tries to inject some heroin into his vaginal region. Dick Clark will die shortly after. People will say, man, he looks really good. He doesn't age, does he? And I predict Chuck Norris will spin kick a dope dealer out of a small Texas town with a Negro watching. I also boldly predict that Dennis Miller will tell a joke that he doesn't get, and he'll be in a loony bin with his thumb up his ass in the fetal position going cha-chi, cha-chi, cha-chi. And cloning will be outlawed, and then it'll be a black market thing. Like you're in New York walking in the park and somebody go, psst, yo, my man. Yes? You want to get one of you? No? Trying to keep it real, let me taste a little bit. Hey, man, you cut me with some Byron Allen. Why, my diction is too good and I can't hoop. That's one of my predictions. I think racism will be eradicated in 2084. And we'll be so sophisticated that we'll have to look for more compelling reasons to hate each other, like personality conflicts and things like that. And it'll give us a sophisticated level, like when the Klan are hanging somebody, it's because they didn't like them. I had a coffee with him and it just wasn't my kind. I think Steven Spielberg will make a movie, his last film, his most important film, in 2018, my authorities are telling me. In 2018, it'll be about the oppression and the tyranny and the oppression of a great people who struggle for their freedom, and it'll be called the WB Network. People reminisce about their flights from New York to LA like people talking about stagecoaches, you know? We had to eat peanuts. It was 6 hours, and we still went to visit people. You couldn't just blink your eyes and be in the Big Apple. We had to watch Whoopi Goldberg movies. What? Ah! That's right, only the strong made it. I think Prince's song 1999 will be played on an oldie station. For no apparent reason, I think that. And I also think that my fourth wife will be born in the next century. I predict that. I'm going out like Anthony Quinn and Tony Curtis and them guys, you know? Yeah, I'm a sucker, but look at that pudding I'm getting. You know? Yeah. Family schmamily. She's getting it all. And I'll be happy, and I'll be happy. This is my boldest yet prediction I'm getting from my source. I think one of the most revered procrastinators of the future will be Vakestradamus, who was Nostradamus' lesser-known brother, who predicted things like a man with hair who lives near the sea or the water. Start some shit. Or some stuff if we're editing. And if this is sold to the Lifetime Network, it would be a woman. We're not above pandering. We're not above pandering here. Speaking of women, in the year 2089, all women will be gay. Why not? And the only way guys that get dates is they'll have to go out and drag and have inane conversations about their emotions and cry during movies and go shopping for little crystal things. And say, I never have orgasms. And then when they get naked, they'll have to say, it's a birth defect. It's an enlarged clitoris. Trust me, don't leave. That's my predictions for the future, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Peace to all my homies in chat work.
War and peace. We'll be right back with our panel discussion after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Free Speech. How about another hand for all of our performers? I'd like to start the discussion off tonight with this question. Is in the 1900s, probably the automobile was the biggest invention, or the computer that changed our lives. What do you think is going to be the invention that changes our lives the most in the next century? And let's start with you, Maria.
Oh, I'd like a good job.
And been a good job.
Like a job that's kind of good. Right.
That would be a good invention, huh?
Right.
How about you, Peter?
I'm with Maria, but I got another one.
Okay. What do you think will be the big invention?
I think you remember the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? I think that's going to be very prophetic, and there's going to be gum that stays sweet.
That would be great. Yeah. Oh yeah. How about you, Patton?
The big is this what I would like to see, or the thing that I actually think we're going to get?
Give us both if you know.
All right.
Give us anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah!
Okay.
Please.
I want that. I want the gum in Willy Wonka that has the meal, but without you blowing up into the big blueberry at the end. The meal gum.
Oh yeah. All right, there's a lot of support for that in the audience.
Sucked. Why was I? That sucked.
How about you, Warren?
Well, I think it'd be more of an evolution than an invention, actually, because we already have these things inherent to our nature from day one. So, what will happen is through, I think, like telepathy, we'll be able to communicate. That way I can get hissed by feminists just by having dinner and keeping my mouth shut.
How about you, Rick?
Well, to address some of the things brought up already, I think that marijuana, you can't smoke it because you can't smoke anywhere. So you'll have the THC patch, and you'll just see people at movies. And then I think there will be a genetically engineered shot of single malt Scotch whiskey that makes you grow hair and makes you actually more clever at a party. That's going to be one rich guy that comes up with that. His house will be on sticks. And I think, speaking of houses, they'll also make, the way we're doing so much plastic surgery on ourselves, then we got to address our housing. There'll be people who live in really crappy homes that will make these giant vacuum-formed facades you can put up on front of it to make it look like a much nicer house with this tiny crappy house in the middle of this giant plastic shell. And in the backyard, you'll have this roll-out sheet of blue plastic that looks like a pool from people seeing your house from the air.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
And
thanks,
how about
Mr. Asimov.
Mark my words.
Now, and how about like television? What do you think television will be like in the next century? Like, will we be seeing Friends in the year 2030?
Yeah. That's a good show.
It'll be the remake. It'll be, the way they keep calling back to the 60s and 70s to make movies of TV shows. They'll be doing the Friends movie, and some of the cast members will be allowed on in cameo spots to be like the store owner. Oh, there's Jennifer Aniston's giving him the bag of candy. Wow, that's cool. They put her in the film.
I would like to see them just totally forget about like logic on TV and just, which they do already, but unintentionally, and actually like have like, bring back the Western, but make it with the internet and computers and stuff. Like you have Festus on the internet, The guy, like you have Rifleman with an AK-47 or something. I mean, same premise.
Matthew, I crashed.
Yes, more weaponry. I think in the Western movies would be good.
You know what I think?
Laser cowboy. Laser cowboy.
The next century, We've used up all our ideas for television shows, so next century is going to be just spin-offs. Like right now we've got Baywatch nights. Next century we're going to have Night Court days. As an
Hey, we have to break for a commercial. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Free Speech. All right. This last winter we experienced El Nino, which everybody thought was an environmental disaster or catastrophe. What kind of environmental disasters do you see coming up for us in the next century? Warren?
Well, first of all, El Nino was a weather pattern and not a catastrophe. It's just rain. It happens. It's warming of water, which happens every X amount of years. But the thing that's going to happen is the greenhouse effect that people were talking about, it's all coming true. It's like some kind of, you know, it's a prophecy. All the crazy people in the 70s with placards out in front of the White House, all this stuff is coming true. Penguins will have to leave the Antarctic and move to the North Pole, and the whales will fall out of the bottom of the ocean because gravity is going to lose its control over things. And they're just going to fall out, and we're going to freak out when we see it on TV. We're going to stop using our cars.
How about you, Rick? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, you know, as far as El Nino is concerned, leave it to Los Angeles to be freaked out by being hit upon with the one thing you're made 90% of. Well, I think what happens is they say these are natural weather patterns. I think you're just going to see it happen more and more rapidly for a while until it levels off again. You know, when we adapt like roaches to become whatever will happen next. We'll just have our own natural, you know, we'll have a special spray can you have to do like this and spray that puts extra ozone over your head so you can get to the car. You know, you just spray a little cloud, and we'll survive because we're durable little roach-like bastards.
How about you, Patton? You see any?
No, I don't, because I think that what's happening right now is going to become the normal state of affairs. What you were saying with the greenhouse, this is going to seem tame. You know, in 10 years from now, I'm going to be like that annoying grandfather. Oh, when we were little, when they'd have a blizzard and then a heat wave in one day, and we were thankful. You know, that in the future there's going to be, you know, thunderstorms that are shaped like Cossacks running down the street, beating people up. The weather's going to be insane. You know,
Yeah.
Hail's going to shoot out of people's pores. That's how bad the weather's going to be. So.
How about you, Peter? What's your vision of the environment for the next century?
You know, you got some wackos on this show. I just want to say that to start with. Sure, we're going to have deforestation and overpopulation and, you know, a lot of Asians, and they'll be problematic. But I think the real problem of the next century is professional sports teams that change cities and keep the nickname associated with their original city. It confuses the kids. That's the problem.
You mean like the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, because when you think of jazz, you think of Mormons, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
The Utah Tabernacle Choir Boys, something like that.
How about you, Maria?
Well, yeah, I have a very strong opinion on this bill, and that is that I'd like it to remain sunny.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap the show up. We're gonna give everybody 15 seconds to summarize any final thoughts they might have on predictions for the next century. Maria?
Well, I think it's safe to say that I'll meet a lot more dysfunctional men and really just dive into that. Just go for it on every level.
Maria Bamford. Peter.
Well, I'd like to end on a positive note. We got a lot of crybabies on this show, and it's turning into a pity party. And it deals with health care. I just had to deal with an HMO, and I think we all agreed they're great and getting better. And my point would be that in this century, there are pre-existing conditions. You know what that is. If you have a condition, they won't pay for it. In the next century, they're going to have pre-existing people, which means if you existed before you joined the plan, you're not covered. And that's only fair.
Patton.
I think in the future, everybody's going to be obscure and unknown for 15 minutes.
Patton Oswalt. And Peter Spruyt. Warren.
Well, in the future, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be like further along than now. Like, you know how we are right now? In the future, it's going to be like tomorrow plus.
You're insane!
Yeah.
Warren Thomas.
It's going to always be tomorrow. Rick.
Your theories are unheard of, sir.
Yes. They kicked me out of the institution for
They
that.
laughed at me in Zurich. Well, I think in the future, Catholic priests will be allowed to get laid.
Rick Overton.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. You've sinned. Woohoo!
Thank you for watching Free Speech. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for previews of upcoming episodes of Free Speech.